Okay, in this video, the unit conversions are going to get a little more complicated. We're going to go from 2 units, 24.8 miles per hour, into meters per second. And again, you could rewrite this as 24.8 miles equal 1 hour. Anytime you have a slash or a per, it means equals. So we're going to go into however many meters equals 1 second. I wrote my equivalents right here. You always want them in front of you before you start one of these problems. 1.61 kilometers equals 1 mile. And again, there's 2 ways to write this. They could have done 1 kilometer equals about 0.6 miles. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. And 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So I have my equivalents to do the conversion in front of me, which you always want to have the list in front of you. And then we're going to start with the 24.8 miles. I'm just going to start with the miles, and I'm going to ignore the hour for right now. So 24.8 miles. We use the same method that we've used all along. So now I'm going to use my first equivalents. I'm going to put mile on the bottom. It has to go with kilometers because this is the same as an equal sign. And then put in the numbers that go with it. 1.61, 1 mile. Now I have to get rid of kilometers, and I need to go into meters, and this is where you use the prefix. So for every 1 kilometer, and again, notice I put the 1 next to the prefix, I know that a kilo is 10 to the 3, or 1,000 meters, or grams, or whatever your base unit is. So here's my first calculation. And when I work this out, let's see what I get. So 24.8 times 1.61 times 10 to the third, or 1,000. Because again, you multiply everything on the top, anything on the bottom, it's just 1. So it would stay the same. And I get 3.99 times 10 to the fourth. I started with 3 sig figs, and honestly, if I rounded, it would still be 3.99 times 10 to the fourth. Kilometers cancel out. My last unit on top is my final unit. It's meters. But I'm not done because they want meters per second. So now I'm going to take this 1 hour and I'm going to convert it into seconds. And I have used this equivalent, so I'm going to cancel it out. And I'm going to put the 1 hour equivalents on the bottom. And it has to go with the 60 minutes. Because, again, this is the same as an equals. And I put that there because I have hour here, so hour has to go down here. Now that I have minute here, minute's going to have to go here. So I'm going to do 1 minute, 60 seconds. Those cancel out. And then when I multiply these through, I'm going to find that 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. And I'm not done yet. I've used both equivalents, but I'm still not done because they want meters per second, which is the same thing as meters over second. So you just have to divide. So I'm going to take this 3.99 times 10 to the fourth divided by 3,600, and then I'll be done. So let me see what I get. And we started with 3 sig figs, so we're going to end with 3 sig figs. It's going to be 1.11. I'll write it up here just so we can see it. So this divided out is going to be 1.11 times 10 to the 1. And now I can write meters per second. And again, always draw a box around your final answer. So there's our final answer. We just converted the miles first, and then we went through and we converted hours to seconds, and then we divided them. You may wonder how useful this calculation is because you're going into healthcare, or you're going to be an engineer. For engineers, honestly, you're going to spend about 40% of your time converting. But for healthcare, this is almost identical to an IB calculation, which I will show you next.